famed Thunder Bowl in Allen Park, near Dearborn, near Detroit. Tremendous crowds here always during the week as well. This is a big, big bowling state.
Some interesting discussions between Graham and his ball rep there. What did you hear?
What did I hear?
I
heard the same thing you heard. He was talking with Dino Castillo, and I'm not really sure Graham was buying in to the discussion.
He wasn't, but what he did decide on and what he ended up telling Dino is a lot like what he did in Delaware. He had the flat 7 thing going on. He didn't want to get steeper. He just added more rotation, a touch slower, and all of a sudden that split the 8-9.
Yeah, they were talking about maybe getting a little bit more on it, and Graham was like, I'm getting on it.
Well, that was his first strike on that lane. As you see, he has been perfect on the left. The right lane was kind of the undoing for Nate Stubler, a lefty, and that was Fach's first strike. On this lane, that'll be his first non-strike.
And what he discussed there is he wanted to be a little more forward on that left lane, and now the left lane's giving him some of that flat 7 look. And be interesting to see if he makes the same move.
2-4 with urethane, that much surface, and you flat 7. What's the move? A little more rotation?
I think he just does the same thing. That's his move. It's kind of been his tweak that's got him over the hump in these spots that are tough, whether it's match play or TV.
Uh-oh. Okay.
No problem, guys.
Kind of scary at the beginning, just saying.
Sometimes the corners on these TV pairs are a little interesting because no one shoots spares.
Right.
And then so, you know, there's been no shoes there. They just haven't blended out whatever they clean them with.
As you may know, that's Chris Barnes joining Randy and I. Kimberly Pressler lane side, and our incredible FS1 crew here in Allen Park, Michigan.
All even, guys. Aside from obvious reasons, and I've watched Billy Bull since he started on tour, as has yourself, what is it about his physical game that you really, really like?
It's so solid and so compact. Everything's efficient. And you can tell, I used to work with his dad a lot. That obviously changed. He went back and worked with a friend of his dad's here last week. You can tell it's his game's tight again. There's not a loose shots. There's not a loose, gets it in the swing different.
Kidding me.
Got the kick on the 10, but nothing on the 7.
So, guys, in just continuing Chris's story about the family friend, Sam Nicole is watching Bill bowl the World Series of Bowling. I asked Bill, I said, how was your World Series? He said it was awful. And then this guy, Sam, calls out of nowhere. He says, Bill, I think I know why you're not bowling well. So Bill goes home. Sam meets him at the bowl. They practice. And Sam just started reiterating what Bill's late father told him. And it all had to do with this push away.
Most of us over the years have the same 2 or 3 things that kind of keep reappearing.
Sure.
And you don't feel it. It just gradually works out of a little bit out of sync. And we're talking about 3 inches of push away.
Yeah.
Tonight it's baseball night. Catch the Mets' newly minted superstar Juan Soto. I believe he homered yesterday as he leads the New York Mets against Jose Altuve and the Astros. Or the Braves take on the Padres. Baseball Night in America returns tonight at 7 Eastern on Fach. Check local listings for the game in your area.
You talk about minor things that feel major, right? And he told me, he said, Randy, literally took me 6 shots. 6 shots, and I was right back into the rhythm.
He's been doing this for a minute, and he's thrown shots at a world-class level that 2 or 3 people in the world can do.
I mean, come on, it's no different for you. You went through the same stuff. I went through the same stuff. I mean, it's always a small thing that you can't figure out. It takes another set of eyes to find it.
That's why coaching's such a big part.
Oh my
And
goodness!
another
An explosive ringing 7.
It's brutal. That's everything he was trying to execute that they talked about in the break. And that's not a flat 10 for sure.
Welcome to the majors. So 1, you got to get to the pocket consistently. 2, you got to strike when you get there. And 3, both of those being very difficult to do.
And now is when it gets really tricky because they're not easy enough to go, hey, I'll just move 2 left or a little slower and, and get it to come off of it. They're hard. So,
yeah, so guys, I mean, it's like if you're in the pocket, I mean, how big of a move can you make, right? Maybe micromanaging, maybe a slight adjustment with the wrist, with the hand, rotation, whatever, but it's not like you can just jump an arrow or 2 to the middle part of the lane and just open them up.
yeah, to your point, if it wasn't urethane, you wouldn't even be able to add the more rotation.
Yeah.
With his rev rate, it would hook 3 more. On this, it just hooks a little bit. He gets another 12 to 18 inches more clearance before it rolls off of it.
We head into the foundation, and they're 1 pin apart. And now a little softer 7 pin there for Graham.
Urethane flat 7.
What have most people been throwing this week, Chris? Urethane or reactive?
Almost no urethane. And if I was to guess, that was some of the purpose of the pattern. In the main bay, it hooked early, then it pushed. Then you hit the hourglass part, it hooked again. Then you got this 2-to-2s at 30 feet, and it pushed again. And by the time I got through that many speed bumps, urethane couldn't hit. Few left-handers could do it, but not very many. And certainly not at the level that the guys that made the show. The guys that made the show, it was not.
A little Deadwood that made a long way out. Graham punishing that 7 pin.
I didn't even hear it.
O'Neill in the driver's seat as we take a look at our max scores.
Remember, he was in this position in match number 1 and came up the proper with a 7-10 in the 10th. He still won the match, incredibly. So, obviously, you know, we can't even count the times he's been in this lockout position, but he's got to execute.
Pocket 7-10, and then Maverick went strike ring 10.
Of course it is. Gamer buddy from Spain.
That right leg shaking up, guys. Just saying.
He's done a magnificent job of managing what's normally the tougher lane of these 2 lanes. Now the tricky part is, I mean, look, watch Billy's head. It never moves. One of the great things about his game.
I also like the way his finish, that hand is actually, fingers are actually pointing to the right, which then keeps that elbow inside.
It is one of his tricks, so to speak.
Yeah.
It kind of clears the front while still having, a pretty high rev rate. Almost like Robert Lawrence, if you were to walk it all the way back.
Oh, goodness, yes. Strike 9 spare, and Bill will be bowling tomorrow as the number 3 seed.
Oh, damn it.
Way inside, guys. Well, you're going to miss this big, right?
Right on the
He wanted that one to hook earlier, and he started about his 4th step on that one.
Oh, stay back. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. Shoulder rolled forward. This is into the lane. He was going to make that one get around the corner.
Got away with it. It's part of the interesting spectacle that's happened today on our show.
And really one of the few bad shots I've seen Billy throw all week.
Strike at 9. Strike 9 spare. It's a shutout grand fall.
Got the strike already.
Just not spare. Just slam the door.
And he's going to have to shoot.
Stubborn 10 pin pops up. His stats does not complete.
If by some miracle he doesn't make this, and I believe he's made every 10 pin he shot this week, it opens the door for Graham to strike out the tie. And we would have a 1-ball roll off.
It's a little further than 60 feet away, though, right now.
It looks like about.
Mr. Palmer, we are still missing 2 patellas.
Oh, no.
Look out.
Billy.
Correction, 217 for a right.
All right, Graham Fah's going to have to punch out. Now, that's the other thing. He
Has
has
the
to execute.
opportunity to steal the match.
Once again, the 10th frame for Bill O'Neill
Go off
comes a
because
cropper.
he needs all 10 pins.
It's 10 pin all week.
Yep. Bond
First
was
10
offering
pennies
the
missed all week.
first
Yeah, he
row.
was something like 38 for 38 or 39 for 39. You see some of the shocked reactions from the spectators here. And, all right, Graham.
Dead zones are coming inside, but out. Physical therapist. Why are you using a physical
But that's 7 from all right. There's one.
He put the big paw on that one.
After the incredible break that Bill got crossing over, and then to miss the 10 pin to give Grandpa life. Grandpa just nudges the 7 out on that shot right there. But he needs 2 more just to tie.
Just to tie, and that's the thing for Bill. He has to accept the fact he's gonna have to bowl again. If Graham strikes out, Bill's got to throw that in the garbage and start with a 1-ball match potentially.
Ring 7 last time, flat 7 that time. Was able to get it out. Does he do anything different on the shot, do you think?
And I as tough as the pattern is, I think I would just try to execute as well as I could, not move or change a thing. A little softer,
Oh.
and he pays for it.
The solid
heavens.
8.
Bill O'Neill is going to be the number 3 seed tomorrow.
And maybe that was in the back of his mind, that late 7,
you
but
noticed
that
that
was
back
almost
on O'Neill's
1
face.
full mile an hour slower than the last
Dodge
shot.
a bullet.
It's almost
Yeah.
impossible to not make any adjustment there, even if it's just subconscious.
Oof.
Thank you, Detroit.
But
Thank
what
you.
a great game.
Yeah, that was
He's
a pretty
full.
good match. You like him 6
Holy smokes.